vampires need to be dealt with. Hunted, rooted out, destroyed. Once there was a group dedicated to a similar cause. They called themselves the Dawnguard.
Gather round, friends, and let the fire's glow hold back the shadows. In the heart of Skyrim, where the mountains stand like jagged teeth against the sky, a name was reborn, a name that struck fear into the hearts of the undead, the Dawnguard, a brotherhood of steel and fire, forged by a man whose will was harder than the stones of the Velothi Mountains. This is the tale of Isran, the Redguard who dragged that ancient order from the ashes, and of the war he waged against the eternal night. It's a story of blood, sacrifice, and the thin line between monster and man. Long ago, in the Second Era, the Dawnguard stood proud. Sworn to the Jarl of Riften, they were guardians of the living, protectors of the sun's light. Their fortress, carved into the cliffs of the Velothi Mountains, was a beacon against the horrors that stalked the night. With crossbows that sang like thunder and bolts tipped with flame and silver, they hunted vampires, those cursed children of Molag Bal, whose hunger turned kin into prey. But time is a crueler foe than any beast. The Dawnguard faded, their fort crumbled, and their name became a whisper, lost to the winds of history. Centuries passed and Skyrim fell into chaos. Dragons tore through the heavens, their roars heralding an age of fire. The Stormcloaks and Imperials clashed, spilling blood across the snow. Yet a darker plague crept beneath it all. Vampires grew bold, no longer content to lurk in forgotten crypts. Entire hamlets vanished, their people drained dry or turned into thralls. The common folk barred their doors, praying to the divines, but prayers alone couldn't stop the fangs in the dark. Enter Isran, not a Nord born of Skyrim's frost, but a Redguard forged in the burning sands of Hammerfell. His skin was weathered bronze, his eyes sharp as a hawk's, burning with a fire no cold could quench. As a Vigilant of Stendarr, he served the god of mercy, wielding hammer and spell against Daedra, necromancers and the undead. But Isran saw what others refused to. The Vigilants were faltering. They preached compassion, offering mercy to the innocent while vampires feasted on their flesh. He watched good men die, their prayers unanswered as temples burned. "Faith alone won't save us," he growled. "Evil must be met with steel." Isran's heart was no gentle thing. He argued with the vigilant leaders, demanding bolder strikes, fortified strongholds, an order dedicated solely to eradicating the vampire menace. They called him reckless, a zealot consumed by hate. "Patience is our way," they said. Isran spat at that. "Patience let monsters thrive. Mercy for the innocent, aye, but for bloodsuckers. Only the mercy of a swift end." So he turned his back on them, not on Stendarr, but on the illusion that faith could shield the weak. If the gods would not act, he would become a god of his own making. Alone he wandered Skyrim's wilds, seeking a place to build his vision. In the rift, amid cliffs sharp as broken blades, he found it, the ruins of Fort Dawnguard. Its walls were crumbling, its halls choked with dust and memory, but Isran saw what it could be. This was no mere fort. It was a crucible where an ancient order had once forged weapons to pierce the night. Stone by stone, he rebuilt it. Hammer by hammer, he raised its ramparts. He carved runes of warding into the walls, stocked armories with crossbows and bolts, crafted to burn like sunlight. Word spread across Skyrim. Isran calls for warriors. Join him and fight for the dawn. They came, drawn to his fire. Kalain, a grizzled Breton whose village had been slaughtered by vampires, his laughter now as rare as summer snow. Durak, an orc archer, his clan's blood staining a vampire's lair, his crossbow a vow of vengeance. Gunmar, a bear tamer whose beasts could crush a thrall's skull. Agmire, a young farmhand turned warrior, eager but untested, and others, outcasts, survivors, even priests who'd lost faith in mercy. Isran was no gentle teacher. Strength or death, he'd snarl, drilling them until their hands bled on crossbow strings, until their spells could sear stone. To falter was to die, and in his eyes, weakness was a fate worse than death. As the Dawnguard grew, so did the shadows. Whispers reached the fort of a vampire lord in the far north, Harkon, ancient and cruel, master of the Volkihar clan. From his castle off Hafinghar's icy coast, he wove a plan to end the sun itself. With an elder scroll and Auriel's bow, a weapon of divine might, he sought to fulfill a prophecy, to plunge Tamriel into eternal night, where vampires would reign as gods. The people of Skyrim would be cattle, their blood a feast for the Volkihar. Isran heard these tales and clenched his axe. "Let them come," he said. "We'll burn holes through their dark." Fate, ever the weaver, brought the war to Isran's door. A wanderer, some say a hero, others a fool, stumbled into dim hollow crypt, unearthing a secret long buried. There, sealed in stone, was Serana, daughter of Harkon himself. A pure-blood vampire, she carried an elder scroll, its weight tied to the prophecy. She sought the Dawnguard, not as an enemy, but as one fleeing her father's madness. When she stepped into Fort Dawnguard, Isran's hand tightened on his weapon. "A vampire in my hall," he growled. "Give me one reason not to end you." Serana's eyes, ancient and weary, met his. She spoke of Harkon's plan, of the bow, of a chance to stop him. Isran didn't trust her, never would, but he saw a tool, a key to victory. The Dawnguard rode to war. From the rift to the reach, their crossbows sang, bolts of flame and silver-piercing vampire thralls and blood fiends. They delved into the soul cairn, a wasteland of ash and despair, where souls wailed in eternal chains. They trekked to the Forgotten Vale, a glacial paradise hiding Auriel's shrine, its beauty masking deadly ambushes. Each step cost blood. Agmire, the eager recruit, fell in his first skirmish, torn apart by claws. Fort Dawnguard itself was besieged, its walls battered by waves of undead. Isran stood at the gate, axe in hand, bellowing, "We are the dawn! Hold fast!" His voice was a beacon, rallying his warriors as spells lit the night and steel met fang. The war wasn't just blades and bolts. It was a test of will. Isran faced his hardest choice in Serana. Every instinct screamed to slay her, to purge the vampire taint as he'd sworn. Yet she fought beside them, her magic turning the tide, her knowledge guiding their path. Could a creature of the night serve the light? Isran wrestled with that question, his hatred warring with pragmatism. He chose the harder path, not forgiveness, but a grudging faith in change. In the end, it was the Wanderer, called Dragonborn by some, who faced Harkon in his lair. With Auriel's bow loosed under a blazing sun, the vampire lord fell, his dream of eternal night shattered. The Volkihar clan scattered, their power broken. Serana, freed from her father's shadow, chose her own road, neither fully light nor dark. And Isran? He returned to his fort, his vigil unbroken. The Dawnguard endured, a sentinel against the night, their crossbows ever ready. Some say Isran wandered north, hunting the last of Harkon's brood. Others claim he still watches from the mountains, a lone figure against the horizon, waiting for the next shadow to rise. But every time a traveler camps beneath the open sky, heart pounding at the rustle beyond the firelight, every time a crossbow hums in the dark, and a beast turns to ash before dawn, that is Isran's will still burning. Evil never sleeps, and neither did he. So, when the night grows cold and the fire grows dim, remember the name of those who stood against it. Remember the Dawnguard,